what we were noticing about people that have been critical of foundational Black Americans, like Charles Sabansi, like Tasha K, they've handled it completely wrong. Godfrey, I don't know how you say it. They've actually made it harder to really put this information out here like it's supposed to be, because there's so much resistance. There's so many people that are resistant for no reason. They just see change and they automatically think that there's something that they're going to be missing out on. When in essence, they should be helping us out because it's going to benefit them in the long run. That's what people don't get about this. I think that's why there's so much shock right now, because we're looking at people that we can once considered our brothers and sisters and saying, I can't believe you all are acting this way. When I'm simply trying to get what's owed to me and what's due, you're acting like I'm doing something that's breaking the law. And that's unfortunate. This is what I would say is a great example of allyship. And it doesn't even have to be allyship. It's just human decency. You know what I mean? Like,
the major division is between, let's say, Black Americans and Africans right now.
So generally,
it's an African guy talking.
Black Americans have been the biggest supporters of the progress of Africa, for Africa to be able to do well. They have always been. When people come out of Africa, when a particular person, say in any capacity, trying to make a difference, Black Americans have always amplified such individuals.
Absolutely.
Even as recently as the young man from Burkina Faso, you can clearly see
That's been our history. Our people are always supportive and trying to uplift and help people around the world. Think of Sun City, and think of Save Our Girls in Nigeria, and all these things that Black Americans have been involved in directly. We've always wanted to outreach and help people around the world. So why we're getting this type of pushback when we simply are asking to be called what we are?
You go to IG, it was Black Americans trying to give a voice. Most Africans, especially the ones that live in diaspora, they don't give a damn. So Black Americans have always been at the forefront of trying to get Africa work. All right, they were the inspiration that gave rise to the independence in Africa. It was their leaders that inspired all the Kwame Nkrumah, all the people that you see revolted in their various places. It was Black Americans' inspiration. Now, why did Black Americans do that? They felt that these people who share the same melanin, because it is only normal, it is only reasonable to say, hey, these ones that belong on the other continent, that share the same melanin, it's only normal to say, hey, you're not doing so well. I want to encourage you to do well.
Yes. Absolutely.
Now they began to inspire Africa. They began to all the fights that they fought in America was to ensure that Africa can at least find way to come and become a natural allies with them. Mm-hmm. Those were the vision. But at the end of the day, you see people coming over to the America, rather than being natural allies to these people that supported you, that gave you light. You became adversary to them. You joined the real enemy. You want to place the enemy against them.
Wow.
So that this is the origin of the animosity. And even as far back as 10, 15 years ago, Black Americans were not showing their discontent towards Africans. They were not. It was only recently, because Africans became far more emboldened in their assertiveness. They became quite insulting. They became quite abusive. They became condescending. Imagine coming into a space disrespecting the natives.
Condescending. He said that. That is what we're feeling the most, is condescension. That Charles Sabansi video, that's all that was condescension. And instead of him stopping and thinking these people have never really steered me astray. He felt like in that moment he had to point his fingers at people. He had to stop what he was doing and address these wayward black people when they didn't need that. It's interesting. This guy's cooking. This guy is cooking right here. This is what we need to hear more of. I'm not going to lie. Not the guy in the car necessarily. Shout out to him, I guess. He's doing some sort of reaction. But this guy on this live stream, I wish we had his name because he is killing it.
In trying to please the real enemy, joining them, thinking is a competition.
Thinking it's a competition.
This was what resulted to them. They began to speak up because the thing became too much, and then they had to. Anybody would. It became so obvious that anybody would clearly see it. Mm-hmm. Then they began to speak up. So the idea of delineation has to happen. Because clearly, people who are supposed to be natural allies are joining the enemy. So why wouldn't you delineate with?
He said it. This guy is from Africa, saying that delineation needs to happen.
With them, delineate from them. So they don't understand alliance.
Somebody in my comments said that yesterday. Somebody from Haiti. He's like, I can't believe how accepting Black Americans have been for so long. He thought this day would have come a very long time ago, but he's like, this is part of your maturing, is learning that you have to place boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even to be offensive to anybody. It's just what needs to happen. And so he was shocked that it took this long. But here we are. So yeah. He said,
so why wouldn't you delineate with them, delineate from them? So they don't understand alliance. It doesn't make sense to them. None of this makes sense to them. So the idea of alliance became a thing, and it has to happen because that's the only way people can now begin to take accountability. That is the only way accountability can step in. Because without delineation, you can see somebody who is from Somalia. He'll be saying, oh, you're punishing me. You're trying to send me out of America because I am black. No, you're not. You are Somalian. You committed fraud. You came in with nothing. You're stealing everything.
Wow.
Now you're trying to say you're black just to run behind.
And that's what people have been saying for a very long time. Black is a catch-all term that gets all the heat. Anything that's negative is tied to blackness, but we never ask, where are these people from? Why are these black people counted in the group as a whole and we're all lumped into the thing? And then they can also extract themselves. When something good happens, they can say, yeah, that's what we do in Jamaica. That's what we do in Brazil. That's what we do in Haiti. They can always divorce themselves. Oh, Nigerians are the smartest people. And they are smart. There are some smart Nigerians. But of course, we're getting some of their best and brightest in the United States. And it's like we're not doing a one-to-one comparison. And anytime that there's a Nigerian kid that comes over here and starts gangbanging, starts stealing, boosting, robbing cars. I grew up outside of D.C., man. I know not all Nigerians are above board, but we are doctors, we are lawyers. That's what gets told out here, right? So, but when they are out there in the street, they're like, oh, he's being a Black American. We get caught with all the bull. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway.
And then have all of us as a target. No, you are the target. You caused the problem. So these are some of the things that we must critically look at. Delineation is very, very, very important. That way we can see what each group is bringing to the table. Not running and using other people's identity, running behind other people's identity to act like, because most of these people, when they come back home here on the continent, they begin to call themselves Black Americans.
Wow. The sound effect was about to happen, but they go back to the continent. This is a guy who's living in Nigeria now, in Biafra. he said when they come back home, they are now Black Americans. This is the manipulation. This is what's been happening.
Call themselves Black Americans. Because most of these people, when they come back home here on the continent, running behind other people's identity to act like, because most of these people, when they come back home here on the continent, they begin to call themselves Black Americans. They some of them pose, they try to look down upon some of us, because they come. These are some of it. That's why we need delineation, so that you know who you are right from the onset. So that you if you can't do something to improve where you come from, then the shame is upon you.
Right.
Then that is what we want. We need delineation. Very, very important. Thank you.
All right. My next question.
My man was cooking from the free throw line. That's all we've been asking for. And mind you, he's not even in the United States. He's in his home country building. He's doing what he wants to do, what he needs to do for his people. Obviously, he's got a great head on his shoulders. Like I said, I wonder who that was. I wonder if I need to look up that account too, where they were hosting that live. They're bringing that type of people in there. That's the type of people we need to build with. Delineation is necessary. He knows that. Because why? He's already been delineated. He's already delineated. That is the natural state. Everybody else in the world has delineated. But but we are supposed to not delineate. We're supposed to be a group of people that is immature and just used as a American doormat to dump all the ills of the world onto our group. That's crazy. But either way, man, interesting, very interesting. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. Make sure you hype the video. Hyping the video helps push it in the algorithm. Thank you. This is Faucette Media.